Yeah, so joining us is Douglas. He's going to be joining our podcast, and we are going to be discussing with him on the issue of feminism. So, Douglas, I want to know your opinion on the issue of feminism. Go ahead.
Yes, I believe feminism is an exaggerated rate of woman emancipation and woman advocacy. To me,
It's exaggerated.
yes.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Where do you think the problem is?
Problem here has been lack of women, also a certain class of women to be realistic with life.
To be realistic, like because
Yes,
I want to be specific with you on this issue, because
yes,
because the resolution we are discussing now is this house regrets feminism,
yes, please.
and we have outlined
Mm,
achievements and failures
yes, please.
of feminism. So
Mm,
I want to focus on one issue. What do you think
mm,
your biggest failure specifically in our social construction?
mm.
What do you think your biggest failure uh, of feminism is?
The biggest failure of feminism
Yes.
is that it has encouraged women to be more disadvantaged in society rather than being empowered. It has made them look more vulnerable.
Can you help us elaborate on that?
Let us look at issues like um, demand for the 1.5 points you have for Ugandan girl children at university.
Yes.
This makes them more vulnerable. Do you see that?
Okay.
Yes.
How exactly? How exactly? Because these are people who are skilled. These are people who have gone to school.
Yeah, in society, you're fighting for women emancipation, women empowerment, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In other words, you're trying to tell a boy or a man
Mm.
to do what? To see a woman as his equal, as a person of capable of being worthy to him. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, but now, unfortunately,
Mm.
men have been groomed to undermine women or to see women as a vulnerable species of people. Hmm?
So so so
So
so
when
do you think that because of feminism, women
mm,
are being viewed as vulnerable?
yes, they're being seen as vulnerable because if you tell me that if we hustle together and me who has made my way, I make it to campus
Mm.
or my university, then you make it because you have 1.5 points.
Yeah.
I'll still see as vulnerable. I'll know that you're there just because of the 1.5 points. Then you're going to go into the working sector,
Mm.
into into the corporate class.
Mm.
You know, these days there are rules the board cannot be functional unless it has a certain number of women and all that. You see that?
Yeah.
So this limits professionalism. They want to put women so they are able to do something very well.
Yeah. Now, since you've brought up the issue of affirmative action, I believe that's what you're talking about, not so.
Yes, yes.
There is a concept
Mm.
which I discussed in my case of equal opportunities versus equal outcomes.
Yes.
I'm going to first take you through it, then you react to it.
All right.
Yeah. So on the issue of equal opportunities,
Mm.
we are having in my own argumentation, we
Yes.
are having the issue of uh, opportunities. Talk about education, talk about financial skills, talk
Mm.
about name them. There are many. There are many.
Yes,
So
please.
the argument I'm making here is that if it regards opportunities,
Mm.
they should be made available to everyone regardless of their gender.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, my problem with feminism here is that
Mm.
after availing those opportunities to
Mm.
people regardless of their gender, which we very much support,
Yes.
people first and foremost have different interests,
Mm.
and secondly, they have different abilities.
Mm.
So, despite the fact that you're going to put 50 girls and 50 boys into a school, or to go
Yes.
through the all the stages of education,
Yes.
you're not going to have 50
Mm.
girls and 50 boys enrolling for engineering.
True.
You're not going to be having the same number or an even number on both sides enrolling for, let's say, law, teaching, name it.
Medicine. Yes.
So my problem with feminism is that they want to enforce an equal outcome, in that you've seen the issue of mainly affirmative action, whereby they are
Mm.
saying if it's let's say this particular profession, or let's say you're employing people, this percentage must be of women,
For women. Yes.
this particular percentage or maybe of women. In my own view, I believe
Mm.
that this is an enforcing of an outcome which is very bad for society. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Mm. yes, equal opportunities and equal outcomes is is a very wrong mentality. Why? Because we all have problems along the way on our academic life.
Yeah.
So if you're going to impose equal outcomes in the future,
yes,
which means you're going to disadvantage boys or you're going to disadvantage the six that makes it.
Yeah. Now, if for example, I'll give you an example. And one of the most countries that have made progress towards the feminist agenda has been, these are the Scandinavian countries, Norway,
Yes.
Iceland. They have in their legislation policies such as, if it's a company board, 40%. A company board.
Policies such as?
Policies. I'm going to name one of the policies that they have adopted.
I've not got the policy.
I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
If it's a company, like board of governors,
yes.
or a board of a company, they require 40% of that board to be women. You get? If it's enrolling for a particular course, regardless of the academic qualifications or the grades you've got, you find like it's between 40 to 50% of those recruits to be women. Now, my issue is that if scientific research has shown that men and women are, first of all, different.
Yes.
Secondly, the interests they pursue are affected by their gender.
Yes.
For example, you're going to have women, because of their gender, enrolling or wanting to enroll in a particular course compared to another.
Yes, please.
Now, if you go ahead and you enforce a policy in, let's say, a course which attracts more interest from men,
yes,
don't you think you're stopping people, or you're taking away one's right, that boy or
you're
that
you're putting men at a disadvantage?
Yes,
that's very true. You're putting me at a disadvantage.
Yes, because you're taking away, let's say, a slot which is from someone who is interested, and giving it to people who are actually not interested in that course.
Yes, actually, to me, feminism
yes,
contradicts with women empowerment.
Yeah.
Because if you're telling me that you want men and women to be seen equal in society, but then you keep on showing us that women are not equal in society. Why? If we say ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to say that there's an MP representing a constituency, right?
Yes.
Why make it special? Say women, we need also our own MP. You see that? You're trying to show them that they're not at the same level with us.
Yeah, actually, on that very particular point of women representing a district, then people representing a constituency, I have had two problems with this issue. First and foremost, if it's a normal constituency seat, there is no law that prohibits a woman from running for that seat.
There is no law.
I think I'm correct on that.
Yes.
Now, on top of that, there is a reserved seat, since women are regarded as a minority group. There is a reserved seat for every district for a woman to be represented.
Yes, true.
Do you really think that a person who represents a constituency can go to parliament and fail to present the issues or the
woman?
The issues of a woman in that particular constituency?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He represents the constituency. He's going to give all the issues.
Yes.
Yes.
And do you think that, however much some issues may be issues for women, do you think they can be solely affecting women, because women are attached to particular families? Do you get?
What are the issues are for women or men, or they affect women or not? We must share. We are all human beings. You see that?
Yeah, we live in one society.
If you're hiding issues for women from a man,
yes,
how is he going to understand you more? How is he going to know what you want more? If you keep on letting them to the women,
yes,
men will keep on seeing you as a vulnerable group. So if you share these issues, regardless of whether they are man issues or man issues too, your respective entity, whether he is a man or a woman,
yes,
they must be represented. They must be represented to the national legislature, and they must be seen as what? They must be treated with equal weight.
Yes, equal weight. Because
but if you want to tell me that you want to keep women issues to the one entity,
yes,
then other issues, which obviously are not men issues to the constituency because he's a man,
yes,
then you're showing us that women are still vulnerable and they still need special attention. Which is trying to say that women have equal opportunities, equal empowerment as men.
Yes, so I think it's like shooting oneself in the foot, because if you claim that people should be treated equally, then I don't think you should be going ahead to segregate one group and claiming that it is more important, or it
Yes,
is it is more
yes,
affected than the other.
that is exactly stepping on your own foot.
Yeah. So
Mm.
so I'm going to take you to three more issues, and I
Mm.
want us to discuss how feminism has failed us in those particular areas. So first and
Okay.
foremost,
Mm.
there is what you call the gender pay gap.
The gender?
The gender pay gap,
Mm.
and in at least for 2020, and for the larger part of 2019,
Mm.
it has been the main issue headlining feminist agenda.
Mm.
So these are the claims that feminists have always been making. I want you to analyze them for me.
Mm.
First and foremost, they
Mm.
believe that women, regardless, should be paid
Mm.
the same as men, regardless of their competence or how able they are going to bring back.
Regardless, pardon?
They believe that
Mm.
women should be paid the same as men, regardless of their competence or their abilities.
I've not heard you. I didn't get you.
You're getting me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying that women,
Mm.
the feminist movement
Mm.
believes that women and men should be paid equally, regardless of their individual abilities.
Should be paid equally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And secondly,
Mm.
they believe
Mm.
that if, let's say, for example, in a company,
Mm.
uh, women on average earn less than men on average, then that is a gender pay gap, which is discriminatory. You're getting me? Hello? Hello? Douglas? Hello? Yeah. Those are the two issues that I was talking about.
About payment, and then the second is?
And the second is that if on
Mm.
average,
Mm.
like you add up the salaries of women and those of
Mm.
men in a
Mm.
particular company, and
Mm.
they show that women earn less, that means that women are being discriminated against in salaries.
That's a false analysis.
What do you think of that? What should be the main issue here?
I do not know which company or which organization worldwide, in Uganda, in the Western region, in Southern region,
Yes.
where we hold equal positions, man and woman,
Mm.
and then because you're a woman, you're going to be paid 10% less than what the man is earning. I do not know which organization that is in this era.
So if, for example, a company employs more men, if it
Yes,
employs less women, of course
yes.
the gender pay gap is going to be there.
The gender pay that is going to be there, but that doesn't mean that women will be paid less. You see that?
Yeah. I don't think it also means that women are being paid less because they are women, but
They are not.
it's because
And
of other factors.
even if a company has 7 men and 3 women, they won't pay the women less because they are 3 women only. No.
Yeah.
And in society right now, we all know, African society, more importantly,
Yes.
that in a scenario where a man and a woman are earning,
Yes.
even if it happens by coincidence that the woman is earning more than the man,
Yes.
still the bigger percentage of expenses will be faced by the man, right?
Yes. So I want to bring you in this last issue on the gender pay gap.
Yes.
We have had various cases. There was a lawsuit
Yes.
against BBC. There was
Again,
BBC, BBC,
yes.
of gender pay gap. There
Mm.
was another lawsuit of the women's United States women's football team,
Mm.
where they claimed that they were not being paid the same as men.
Mm.
Uh, so my problem here is that
Mm.
uh, women, and I'm going to conclude for you, and I want you to react to it.
Pardon?
I'm going to conclude, and I want you to give me your own opinion.
Yes.
There are some professions
Mm.
where men,
Mm.
where they are more competent men than women.
Mm.
For example, football,
Mm.
you cannot match women's football to men's football.
Men football, yes.
It requires a different level of skill. It attracts different more men's football attracts more support than women's football. It generates more funds than women's funds. So you cannot pay them
Very
the
true.
same. You
Very
cannot pay
true.
them the
Yes.
same. So that
Yes.
argument of equal pay on football is wrong. But my
Mm.
problem
Mm.
is that we are having professions where actually women earn more, because from my research,
Mm.
the top most paid model,
The what?
the top most paid female model,
Mm.
like her salary
Mm.
is more than the top 8
Male
paid
model.
male models.
Mm.
So my problem is that the feminist movement tends to only focus on those professions which are by nature male dominated,
Male dominated, yes.
and they try to use that to promote their feminist agenda and say, you see, there is gender discrimination, gender pay
Mm.
gap. Do you think that holds water? Because if we are to apply the same standards, that means
Mm.
we shall go to the other side, let's say modeling,
Mm.
acting, all those things where women tend to
We
have an
dominate.
edge. Yeah,
Career more.
female dominated, and we also demand for equal pay. Don't you
Mm.
think don't you think it doesn't make sense here?
Yeah, that is very baseless, in fact, because if you complain that women are earning less than men who are footballers,
Yeah.
the issue comes back to women. Why are men earning more than you? Because they have more funds than you. Why do they have more funds than you? Because they play better than you, right?
Yeah.
The audacity is on you, the woman, right?
Mm.
It is on you to make sure that you play very well, attract fans that are going to bring the money to pay you. You see that?
Yes.
But you cannot start training, yet when you're playing soccer, the stadium is half full with spectators, and then you scratch for fair pay as men.
Yeah. So
Yes, so let them put in the same effort as much as men do into the soccer.
yes.
Produce impressive skills on pitch, that
Yeah.
are going to attract fans.
Yes. In order to
That
bring
is
in more money.
in order to get the money. Otherwise, you're not going to tell us to pay you where you're not getting the money from. You're not going to tell us that because men play better and generate much more income, let us pull some income from the main side and take it to women. No, that is very baseless.
Yeah. So that was the issue of gender pay gap. We have two more issues. That's the issue of sexual harassment.
Mm.
I think this is a very serious issue which affects
Mm.
women.
Mm.
And personally, I agree
Mm.
that if a person indeed is accused of sexual harassment and he's confirmed guilty, he's found
Mm.
guilty, I think that person has to pay for it, and harshly.
Yeah, true.
But my problem, I have
Mm.
three problems. First and
Mm.
foremost, I have
Mm.
a problem with, because since sexual harassment has become a very sensitive topic, I have a problem with feminists, most especially the far left liberal side, using
Mm.
this issue of sexual harassment for political reasons.
Mm.
You have someone, coming out saying I was
Mm.
sexually harassed, when actually it's a false claim, but because it advances the political agenda, then
It works out for them.
it works out for them. Or
Mm.
we're having issues like, let's say, the thing happened, in 20 years ago. It was not a serious sexual harassment claim,
Mm.
not serious, but
Yeah,
because
because someone has come out
yeah,
politically.
but because someone has come out politically, they tend to magnify it beyond its reasonable capacity in order
Mm.
to drive a political agenda. Now,
Mm.
I believe that that one takes us away from the main motive of actually finding justice for the
For
victim,
for the yes.
and we go into another motive of advancing a political agenda.
Yes.
Sec-
Seeking revenge.
yeah, revenge.
Mm.
Secondly,
Mm.
uh, is with women particularly, because there are some, not all women actually are just all innocent. We have very, very vicious and bad characters among women.
Very true. Yes.
So these women come up because they want to revenge against someone they don't like. A
Mm.
woman comes up and files a suit that I was sexually harassed by this person, simply
Mm.
because they personally hate them, or they have had differences or
Mm.
misunderstandings.
Mm.
So this kind of framing is being used. All women are taking advantage of it to revenge
Mm.
against people, and the damage caused by someone being accused of
Harassment.
harassment is, you can't recover from it. It
Very
is
fatal.
it
It
is
is
a
very fatal. Yes.
it's a permanent mark on your reputation and
Mm.
personality.
Yes, very true.
Yeah. So secondly,
Mm.
thirdly and
Mm.
lastly,
Mm.
they are the double standards that we are facing by feminists, because you're going to find a feminist,
Mm.
if it's a sexual harassment claim, they
Mm.
are they are going to come all out and support it,
Mm.
and they say no, justice must be done.
Mm.
I'll give you an example. I will take you to the US, where, for example, we had Donald Trump facing sexual harassment claims in 2016 when he was
Yes,
running when he was running for office.
yes.
People came out, they attacked him, they condemned him, and if it was true, then justice must be served. But my problem is, when it comes to, let's say, like Joe Biden, a sexual
Mm.
harassment claim is filed against him, and
Mm.
the same feminists who launched Me Too, the same feminists who are calling for justice for women, the same feminists who urged that if a woman comes out
Mm.
to report a sexual harassment claim, then the first assumption we should focus on is that it could be true.
Mm.
But these double standards by these same people seem to be worrying. Don't you think this is some sort of hypocrisy?
It is hypocrisy, and as I said, it is really double standard.
Yes.
Yes, because if you look at it, sexual harassment is done by someone is really victimized, then
Yes.
it is also someone must be punished. Hmm?
Yes.
But actually, to be fair, where has it been noted that a man has been sexually harassed by a woman, and you see women still supporting the man? They will still say, no, is they what? It is impossible.
Yeah.
Yet in society, we are not that if men are being sexually harassed,
Yeah.
and they're crying there in silence. You see that?
Yeah, actually, there's an issue of sexual harassment is not inclined to one gender.
Exactly. Very many men are suffering from sexual harassment.
It goes
Yes,
both
and
ways.
now, if you look at double standards, people are going to come up and back up by someone. You know now feminists have become very irrational.
Yeah.
If someone says, yes, Joe Biden harassed me, there is no feminist that is going to go and look for evidence.
Yes.
They're all going to go and cry, let Biden not stand for president of the United States. That's what they're going to first say. With or without evidence. And when it comes out that the claim was baseless, and only intended to cause political harm, the whole third line, no one will come out, no feminist will come out to say, you know what this woman did was very wrong. Let us also try her for doing what? For defamation.
Yeah. Now, actually, you've reminded me of the fact that on average last year, of the sexual harassment claims and lawsuits that were filed, only 17.2% 17.2% were convicted.
What?
Convicted. That means they actually sexually harassed. So we're having a large portion of over 83 women coming out, telling lies,
That they're being sexually harassed.
yeah, to defame someone. Don't you think, in order to promote the transparency of the agenda to fight sexual harassment, not only for women, but on both sides, we need to apply the same standards? If someone is found out to have defamed someone, they should actually suffer the
They
same
should suffer worse
sentence,
consequences.
yeah, even worse consequences of a person who is accused of sexual harassment,
Very true.
in order to maintain the motive of the cause for to fight sexual
Yes,
harassment.
because justice remains justice. You see,
Yeah.
if justice is if you're crying out for justice, yet it's not really justice. You just want to defend someone,
Yeah.
then that's not justice. And justice must be served by punishing the person that intended to do what? To cause political harm to a person.
Yeah.
So justice must be completed. That in a case whereby I've been accused,
Yes.
just out of political selfishness, and evidence is found that I did not do anything, you must face justice,
Yeah.
and the legal hand must give you a tougher punishment than they're supposed to receive. Because that is what you're encouraging. If you tell them to go free, become someone, we are going to maintain this thing of sexual harassment that is just useless.
Now, there's this one issue that I want us to tackle before we move on to the last topic.
Yes.
Feminists are going to argue that when you start putting harsh sentences on those people, it is going to scare away women in particular, since they are feminists, from coming out to speak out? Do you think it stops more women from coming out to report sexual harassment?
Well, that is also another definite fact, because if you've been sexually harassed, there's evidence.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So why would it scare someone who is saying the truth and you know you have your evidence?
Yeah, so the issue is evidence, and
Mm.
people who are personally, I believe that if someone has evidence, then they have the confidence to bring about the evidence.
Exactly.
There's an old saying that says that if you have the evidence, you pound the evidence. If you have the facts, you pound the facts, and if you have nothing to show, then you pound the table. Now, on the last topic of abortion,
Yes.
I want us to discuss how the feminism movement has failed us on abortion, because as a conservative person who has conservative views, I believe that abortion is murder, and the large chunk and the most outspoken percentage of the feminist movement is what I would call pro-choice, as they normally want to refer to themselves, or they want to give women unlimited rights for abortion. Do you have concerns about that?
Yes, I would like to agree with you at a point, but also disagree with you at a point, based on what reason abortion is. Abortions are carried out,
Yes.
Depending on the circumstances. You see that?
Yes.
But if you to legalize abortion and say it's okay, then the women that you respect, are going to become more clumsy, just creating more carelessness in women.
Yes.
Yes. But for Uganda, as Uganda stands right now,
Yes.
Abortions are illegal.
Yeah.
But to me, I believe that there's a point whereby abortion becomes legal in case it causes danger to the person carrying the pregnancy. You see that?
Yeah, actually, it is if it is going to harm, or if it's a threat to the mother's life
Yes,
in
then it
particular.
is necessary. Yes.
Yeah, but personally, I have no problem with carrying out abortion to save the mother's life. But I have one issue. I'm going to take you back to, there is a landmark case that is normally referred to as Roe v. Wade. I don't know that you have heard about it.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's called Roe v. Wade. It was in the United States Supreme Court in 1973, January 1973, on the 22nd. Now, there was a Texas law that was prohibiting abortion, except
It was prohibited.
there was a law in Texas prohibiting abortion, except for the purpose of saving the life of the mother.
I've not got that exactly.
I'm saying there was a law prohibiting abortion, except if
When saving the life of the mother.
yeah, if it's saving the life of the mother. And one person who wanted abortion took the local government to court, claiming that it was infringing on her right to privacy. And in that landmark hearing, the Supreme Court struck down the law and ruled that abortion should be allowed only if that abortion will be allowed for only the purposes of saving
A mother.
the mother's health, not life.
Exactly.
The health of the mother. If the health of the mother is
being endangered,
just by simply being endangered, then abortion should be carried out. But the weakest point in this ruling was that it was the doctor to determine,
recommend that.
Yeah, to recommend that in this case the
Abortion is necessary.
So but personally, I think that was
Right.
it was not right, because if I'm going to meet with my doctor, I can clearly have an agreement with that doctor that, you know what, just recommend that from your own expert view, because you cannot question experts. If an expert has spoken, then that's authority. So we're having people, because that is giving abortion an unlimited right. And if a doctor, even when that's not the case, recommends abortion, you cannot sue them. So my problem is that personally I feel that the Texas law was okay,
Mm,
and there was nothing wrong with that because it was very specific. If the mother's life is going to be endangered,
mm,
let's not forget
mm.
any pregnancy is a threat to the mother's health. That is a fact.
Yes,
That is a
yes,
fact. We cannot run away from it.
yes.
But if someone is going to take away, is going to commit murder, because life begins at
From
fertilizing,
conceive, from conceiving.
yeah, from conceiving.
Yes.
So you're practically committing, you're taking away someone's life.
Mm,
And scientific research shows that after 1 month of conceiving,
mm,
then the normal process of the heart is where it starts from.
mm,
The normal process of the heart that's where it starts. That's the inception.
mm.
So if someone is going to start murdering unborn babies who cannot defend themselves, these are defenseless human beings.
Yes.
They cannot
And
defend them.
that deserve human rights also.
Yeah, they deserve the fundamental right to
Mm,
life. To life.
yes.
So I believe that first there is what we call uh we have had massive sensitization, not only in Uganda but world
Mm,
over. World over, we have
yes.
had massive sensitization on unwanted pregnancies.
Mm,
You get, we have had governments talk about abstaining, condoms are everywhere. We have come with contraceptives.
yes.
They have very many things. Even when you go to the United States, they have a parental program that initiates women into parenting.
Mm,
You get, now.
mm,
I believe that these people call themselves pro-choice. These feminists,
mm,
they call themselves pro-choice,
mm,
and they believe that it is the mother's choice
mm.
to decide whether to carry the baby or not. And if you're stopping them from carrying out abortion,
Eh?
but I want to conclude with this.
But once you conceive,
Mm-mm.
you form the human being that deserves rights.
Yeah. So I want to,
Otherwise, no one is against family planning method. Use your family planning method before you form a human being. And then after forming that human being after conceiving,
yes.
work up on that human rights.
Yeah, actually,
He also has rights.
yeah. So I think the
Mm,
argument we should be making here is that we should not take away the right of the mother to choose whether to have
mm,
a baby or not.
mm,
But I believe the right of that mother
mm,
can be exercised by that woman or that mother
mm.
when they are deciding to use contraceptives, when
Exactly.
they are deciding to use condoms,
No one,
all those
no one is
methods.
going to stop you from your right
Yeah,
to use a
yeah,
contraceptive. You have the right to it.
yeah,
But should you become clumsy,
yeah,
yeah?
and you
Because
misuse that
pregnancy
right.
is supposed to be by choice, not by chance.
Yeah,
So if it becomes out of chance, it means you're clumsy.
yeah,
And then you form the human being that also deserves rights. So you should not trample on that person's human rights.
yeah. So the main argument here is that if the woman misuses her right to choose, then
Contraceptive.
she should not go ahead to infringe on another person's right.
Very true. That is what I would go with that.
Yeah. So
Yes.
to conclude, basically is that the feminist agenda that is promoting abortion,
Mm,
claiming that that women have a right to choose, I think it's a baseless argument,
mm,
and it is against the fundamental principles that feminism was founded on. That is observing rights, because women's rights are human rights.
true.
Yeah. So it could be, the baby could be a female
Mm,
and you're going for abortion. So
mm,
I believe that on the issue of abortion, feminism has completely failed us. They are
yes.
they are carrying out massive murders.
We respect their decision, their take on that place. Yes,
Yeah,
true.
yeah. The murders are very massive. Even
Mm,
even I would like to point out, more especially in the United States, where the
mm,
feminist movement was
mm,
proposing two
mm,
ridiculous policies.
mm,
Number one, they wanted
mm,
to allow abortion in the ninth month.
ouch.
In the ninth month.
That is a fully grown human being.
Yeah, that's a fully grown human being.
Mm,
And secondly, they also wanted to. They had these are mainly this is mainly the Democratic Party. They wanted to introduce a legislation that I don't remember the certain period of time, but there's a period of time after the baby is born where they give the mother the right to choose whether they want the baby.
The child or not.
Yeah. So in their definition of abortion, it was going past giving birth. So if someone gives birth to a baby and after 3 days they don't want the baby
They
and
can kill the baby.
they claim it's abortion. So don't you think that is inhumane of
that is murder?
Of people who claim to be feminists and care about people?
It is inhumane of a sex,
yeah,
because women they are shown to be the most human people, to have more humanity than men.
Yeah.
So they are now betraying the fellow cause of women.
Yeah, the original cause of women.
Yes, because women are supposed to be more promoting such an act.
Yes.
To murder someone, even someone at 8 months is already a human being. That's why you see you can give birth to a child of 7 months. You see.
Yeah.
It means that's a fully grown human being. Now imagine it worse that you're going to kill a child that is already born. That is murder, and we regret that take of feminism on abortion.
Yeah. So as we do our closing arguments, what do you think is the way forward?
The way forward is that feminists should check on their agenda for feminism.
Yeah.
Let them become more practical.
Yes.
To the demands of the world, to the demands of nature. That's one.
Yes.
Let them be realistic while asking for them. You see that?
Yes.
You can't ask me to be paid more than a man just because I am doing less work. You see that?
Yeah.
And that they should become human before making their choices in life. They're not being human, but rather taking it a robotic way of life.
Yes.
Yes, so feminists really need to check on what they are pushing for, what they are advocating for. Otherwise, they may be the cause of the extinction of mankind in the near future.
I've once made that claim and I received a lot of backlash. Now, lastly,
yes.
I believe, in my own opinion, that we should actually do away with this whole rhetoric of feminism. I think we should instead focus on women empowerment, because it's a little different from feminism. Women empowerment is all about skilling women,
equal opportunities.
Yeah, giving women the skills that they don't have. Actually, giving women opportunities which they cannot access, and which is the basis of equality. And
very true.
If we are to empower women, we help them access education, but we also do the same for boys, because this is equality.
Yes, it is equality.
Yes, if it's financial independence, we invite women on the board to access those opportunities, but we also invite men. If it's let's say there are very many things, loans, if it's sports, acquiring opportunities in sports, if it's acquiring opportunities elsewhere, we should invite all people on board and empower them and give them the skills they need to succeed. How they use those skills is none of our problem.
Yes.
We should not go ahead to enforce an outcome. That is my opinion.
Exactly.
Yes. So the whole issue of feminism, we should neglect it as this generation of ours, and
it should be abandoned because it's a danger. It's a threat.
It's a threat to the world. To the world.
Extinction. Yes.
Yeah. As we close, can you also tell us, because you've also been campaigning for the boy child, I wanted you to give this platform to tell us the plight of the boy child, because people don't get a chance to.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, in the era of feminism.
Yes.
In the era of women empowerment, which I do support women empowerment.
Yeah.
The boy child has somehow been neglected.
Yeah.
If you look at at all government systems, all government sectors, and their practice,
Yes.
Let's go to civil society. All their tendencies, all their advocacies, they're advocating about the girl child.
Yeah.
Yet that leaves behind the boy child. This is supposed to be fighting for equality between the boy child and the girl child.
Yeah.
So boys have been left behind. You see that?
Yes.
And right now they are being disadvantaged in society.
Yeah.
You're going to reach a point, whereby a man is going to lose a job because he's a man and they want a woman just because of feminism.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
where
that's
I'm going
very
to
true.
reach. So we should come up and support boy child,
Yeah.
in receiving equal education as a girl child, like the way, like how girl child education has been developed.
Yes.
In receiving health care. If health care is still a challenge for boys.
Yes.
In right now in our African setting and Ugandan setting, if
Yes.
a girl gets sick,
Yes.
they will take him to hospital and give her more attention.
Yeah.
But if a boy gets sick, they're going to advise him to go to the forest and look for herbs.
That's
It
fine.
is, yes, this is what is happening right now. You
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah.
In a situation whereby in a family they fail to get money
Yes.
to take their children to school
Yes.
because of the girl child education system that is there, the girl child is going to get education
Yeah.
and the boy is going to stay at home watching. So why can't government not neglect girl child, but rather use the same strengths
Yeah.
and the same policies
Yes.
to empower children as a whole, not only girls.
Yeah.
Yes. And even after boy child,
Yes.
let us come to men.
Yeah.
Today there are very many men suffering under the oppression of women,
Yes.
and the public and all sectors, the the civil society, have not given them an ear.
Yeah.
I'm not giving them a platform to state their oppression, to tell us how they're being oppressed. People are dying there.
Actually, I was once debating an issue of feminism some time
Mm.
back, and I outlined the following factors. I made it clear that the number of over close to 89% of men die in wars compared to women. I
Yes,
made it
true.
clear that almost 70% of suicides are
Mm.
because of
By men.
are by men, and that is because of the family problems and other problems that they face.
Very true.
I also made it clear that drug abuse
Mm.
is because of men, and people,
Yes.
people go to drugs because of different issues, depression, all those things.
Mm.
Yeah, and I also made it clear that men are more likely to face a court crime or going to
Mm.
jail
Yes,
than
true.
women.
Very true.
So are these are issues that are happening because of gender. They are gender based.
Exactly true.
So it becomes irrational. It becomes baseless for us to start ignoring those issues simply because
Mm.
we are feminists, and the most important thing to talk about is feminism. Don't you think those issues in the campaign for the boy child should also be looked into?
They should be addressed, very much so, very much so. I do agree that they should be addressed.
Yeah.
Yes, because that it's all after saying that
Mm.
a man is suffering under the oppression of feminism.
Yes.
That's why I'll stand with you to say that this house really regrets feminism.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Douglas. Uh,
Thank,
thank you for
thank you for your time, Bill.
yeah. Thank you for joining our podcast. We mainly put up this podcast to engage different ideas, and
Yes.
we in this first week we are hosting one person because of the time we have, but
Mm.
we would like to have you back on other issues where we are looking to be hosting more than two people.
I'll be glad to be part of you.
Yeah, to have more diverse ideas instead of two people. But
Sure.
thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate, and I thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much for this initiative. Thank you for calling me. Thank you for the time. Thank you for listening out to my views.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a nice time.
Likewise.
Yeah, so that was our discussion, our debate, our intellectual engagement on the issue of feminism. If you're a feminist and you're out there thinking that you're on cloud nine, thinking that you're putting the world in the right direction, it is high time you thought about it for the second or even for the third time, because as you've seen in our discussion, in our debate, there is more than meets the eye. There is still more to answer about what feminism has brought us into the 21st century. Thank you for watching. Uh, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to share that link and invite someone to join and share the knowledge. You can leave your comments in the comment section down below. Give us more topics that we should be tackling on. It can be anything. It can be from sports to politics to social to economic. If you want to join the podcast, don't forget to tell me in the comment section, and we shall be hosting you on our podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a nice audience. This house regrets feminism.